Aleks U Show, 300 seconds of life-changing wisdom on health, happiness, purpose, and success. Inspiring people with inspiring stories around the globe, just for you, only on Aleks U. Right in beautiful Vancouver Island again, and right next to me I have remarkable young men who can teach us and will teach us, give us 300 seconds of wisdom on how to put yourself through school and that it is possible, and then what that does to you for your life later on. John, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
How are you?
Very well.
Okay.
So I graduated high school and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was pressured into going to university right away. So I chose to enter the science program because I figured I like science. Mm-hmm. And high school level science, university level science. So it was quite the rude awakening. I lasted for about 2 years, and I think it was organic chemistry that finally did me in. So yes, I ended up dropping out, and part of, I think it was a bit of an overreaction on my part, was to go the other way and to say, okay, well, if I'm going to work, I'm going to make absolutely as much per hour as I possibly can. And especially in Canada, that means the oil field. The first thing I did is unlike the first time I went to school, decide what I wanted to do. And I settled on business because I always joked that if I developed any addiction in Alberta, it was an addiction to money. Okay. Luckily, the oil industry recovered. I was back to work by the summer of 2009. So I had about a year and a half to work and make as much money as I possibly could to pay for my education. What I ended up doing is I'd take very heavy semesters and then go away to Alberta to work over Christmas break and then summer break. So typically I'd be done my exams around December 15th or so. Fly out to Alberta for 2 weeks, make 10 or 15 grand, come back and do my spring semester. Yeah, no loans. I lived independently off campus. Paid my tuition, paid all my bills, everything.
Amazing.
Like that.
Well, wasn't it? But did you find it like a lot of pressure? Most kids would go the route where, well, I'm just gonna get my student loans and worry about it later, and then they do worry about it later.
Yeah, I've always been debt adverse, so there was that aspect of it. But as well, I found it was a great motivator. There's nothing, I get to the end of my fall semester and you get a little burnt out of projects and papers and that sort of thing, and then I go and freeze my butt off in -40 in northern Alberta for 2 weeks. And it sure makes you appreciate the classroom in January. I had made a promise to myself when I got my degree, no matter what, I would not go back to Alberta and work in the oil patch. I feel like essentially I had to put, the goals I had financially, that sort of thing, on hold for 3 years to get my education. That it was all consuming. I always tell people I don't regret working in Alberta or going through school the way I did. I try to appreciate it. Doesn't mean I do it again going out to Alberta, but yeah.
So, working for the financial industry, what do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy getting out what I put into it. I got paid excellent money on the rigs. The biggest thing that ate away at me is I try and take pride in any work I do, and I could work and try and do the best job ever, and one of my crewmates could spend more time hiding from the boss than he did working, and at the end of the day you look at her paychecks and they're exactly the same. That always ate at me. I've tried to get back into going to the gym, and when I try and do that is immediately after work. So I'll work, accomplish what I've set out for the day, get changed in my office, go to the gym, work out for an hour, and go home. And I found not only is it good physically to get some exercise after you've been sitting all day, it's an excellent mental break between being at work and being at home. And there's something about working off all that energy you have at work, going home, showering, and you're clean, you're fresh, you're present, you're with your family. What I try and do daily and try and institute in my life is to be appreciative of what I have, because I look back at what my life was like when I was working in Alberta. I take a look at my family everything around me. And it's very easy to take things for granted, but if I could take anything away from my time in Alberta is, I think it gives me great perspective. And I always try and come back to that and realize what I have, how far I've come, and to appreciate that.
Purpose of life.
Football.
I like that answer. On the bigger scheme.
On the bigger scheme, as a new dad, of course, I'm going to say my family now. It's amazing how that takes over. Before that, I would have said making a difference in people's lives. Whether it's on the small scale, helping them out in the financial services, whatever, or just, changing things, get involved with the community, volunteering.
This was 300 seconds of life-changing wisdom delivered from John. Thank you, John.
No problem, sir.
I learned a lot as far as what do you have to do to put yourself through school in Canada. But if you still have some questions, check out the description box below and you can find the ways to connect with me or John and ask away. Thanks for watching. It was an honor hosting you. Bye.